Peace, love, and light is what I want to start this beautiful live stream off with. This peace, love, and light, in which I'm sending to each and every single one of you guys on this beautiful evening, on this beautiful rising. Currently, where I'm at, depending upon wherever you guys are at within the world. I'm currently in Los Angeles. I've been here for the past couple of days. I was out here for my best friend's game and where they played against the Rams. It was my first time seeing him play at the professional level, which was truly a blessing. As I mentioned in one of my stories on Instagram, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I highly advise you guys all do at Credit Gotti. I'm gonna have within all my videos really soon, in the description, an attachment and a link to all of my social media platforms and any of the chats or channels in which that I do have for any of our communities. So I'm super grateful, super blessed once again to be here to start off this week with another call, to start off this week with more individuals coming to this channel to get more results. I believe this channel is not successful if we have, a repeat of clients coming back for the exact same problem. If we have clients coming back for the exact same problem, me, myself, Credit Gotti is not doing something proper and I need to change things up. So I wanted to come here today specifically and I wanted to cover and help people that have put down thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even on down payments. So, real quick, I want you to ask yourself, have I ever put down a down payment on a vehicle? What if I told you guys that down payments were illegal to put down as a whole, and that cash transactions, when any finance charge, has arose, is illegal. It's unlawful. It's against truth in lending. And what I want you guys to do going into any of these dealerships is I want you to ask them if they abide by truth in lending. And if they follow the truth in lending regulations and guidelines, there are certain laws in which they must follow and apply by. And so I'm going to show you guys the laws in which govern these dealerships. I'm going to show you the laws in which govern these financial institutions and ones in which they must abide by, and which oftentimes through these consumer credit transactions, they typically do not because consumers typically are not aware of the truth in lending disclosure and the rights that we hold within the truth in lending disclosure. I truly believe that the truth in lending disclosure is, if not the most powerful subchapter all throughout Title 15 as a whole. I've broken down the right of rescission before. We've done a couple calls on the right of rescission. I did a call specifically going over that when I was in Canada. So if you guys haven't watched that live yet, I highly advise that you do go back and watch that. I highly advise you guys get familiar with the definition section within Truth in Lending. A lot of you guys are going to acquire a vehicle, going to, seek no down payment on your vehicle, but a lot of you guys at the same time are also out here and don't even know the definition section of truth in lending, don't even know congressional findings and what Congress found when they created the subchapter truth in lending, because someone was not being truthful while lending. So therefore, they put in place this in 1968. And this is decades ago in which we're talking about. This isn't something in which is recent. These are things in which have been taking place for some time now, in which, Congress was like, enough is enough in the 60s. And they're like, yeah, we got to put these lenders in place, with truth in lending, because they are unlawfully lending to these consumers, getting these consumers to, get into these agreements and contracts which they know nothing about, right? In which they were not given proper adequate notice, in which they were not clearly and conspicuously disclosed upon this information. And if you guys, and anytime you really hear me like emphasizing a line or a phrase, this is typically another law or code, whether it be within this subchapter or any of the other two, the FDCPA or FCRA, in which I want you guys to go through and look up and get familiar with, study. Where does it talk about they must clearly and conspicuously disclose to us certain informations and disclosures and guidelines and, the payments, if there are going to be any made? Where does it disclose this information? Go look in the definition section. You guys tell me. I want you guys to comment in the section, and whomever does comment where it talks about you must clearly, conspicuously B, disclose this information, and that is going to be reporting upon your consumer report. Peace and love, Nat. I'm blessed. I'm right here on live real quick on YouTube. I, no, no worries. Do you have work today? Okay. No, I'm gonna be headed out soon. I was trying to link with you yesterday, but what time are you off? Okay, just message me when you off, and I may or may not still be around or over here. Okay, Natalie, have a blessed day. All right, peace. I appreciate that. A lot of people do say native. I like to educate my people upon it. Native, just like the term black as a subject, is you know the is to keep you as property of the crown, and as a subject. Once again, we are indigenous. I always let people know I'm A, indigenous, or B, an American Indian. Um, how do I create a power of attorney for myself? I'm not sure, David. That's not something that I personally do or have done, my brother. Black's Law Dictionary, 100%. And so to get back on track, family, I want you guys to ask these lenders, ask these dealers if they abide by truth in lending. Furthermore, let's backtrack. Going into the dealership, you never want to even apply through a credit application as a whole. Anytime I go acquire a vehicle, which this is what I've done, I've gone to the banks directly. Anytime my students have done so, I got multiple students that have cars on Turo, that have cars listed on other platforms and where they're making money, that have off listing, car bookings as well too, and where they've leveraged their credit to finance these vehicles, and they've leveraged, their off booking and on booking, um, you know, I mean, they're on app and off app bookings, for their vehicle. They've used these to pay off their car note to help build their credit as well too, so they can acquire heavier auto loans. I've told you guys one time about the Navy Federal Auto Loan, you know, quick unsecured loan you guys could acquire, but for 3 months you guys can get it as an auto loan. I gave you guys a quick little loophole on how to acquire this auto loan and get it to become an unsecured personal loan after this 3 month time frame. And this is you guys acquiring for 3 months an auto loan interest rate, with you guys getting a check for, if this is your first auto loan, 30 to 35. If you've had multiple other auto loans, anywhere from 75 to 100,000 an auto loan, um, that you've turned to an unsecured loan that you guys can now use. Go get a check, go get that cashed out to now go use that as an unsecured loan, but use that towards an investment, towards something that's going to be bringing you back cash flow, that's going to be bringing you back a return. So after these 3 months, when it goes to a unsecured loan interest rates, and the interest rates do raise, after that, now we've already profited, X amount, because we put that money to work right away. See, these are certain things. A lot of you guys are looking to go get remedy. A lot of you guys are looking to get remedy, but don't even know what you guys will do with the remedy. A lot of you guys are looking to go get funding, but don't know a single thing that you guys will do with the funding. You guys don't know. You guys will just get yourself in more and more debt. And then now when you try to go apply for anything, now they're going to look at your debt and they're going to look at your income. They're going to see it doesn't align, it doesn't match up, debt to income ratio doesn't line up. Now it's going to make that, the process and the headache of you going and acquiring credit that much more. And you're going to have to continue going through and hitting these corporations with adverse action letters. So what I recommend is, yes, going through with credit unions and acquiring an auto loan through the credit unions. And once I acquire that auto loan through the credit unions, I'm gonna then go bring that, approval of the auto loan to the dealership with my approval already. So my vehicle is 28,000. I'm gonna get an auto loan from 32 to 35,000. It's gonna be more than what the actual vehicle's cost is, by a couple $1,000, just to where if they do try to add on any fees or down payment, that can all be included within, the check in which I'm going to be bringing to the dealership, in which I've had my students. And a couple of them have told me, even going in bringing the check, they tried to give me all of these fees and everything. To they try to give me all of these fees and still make me put down like 6,000 for one of my clients' Infinities. And he called me on the phone. He was like, "Bro, I know this is it. I know this is unlawful." He's like, "I don't know what law specifically to use." He's like, "Yo, I got you on the phone right now." He edified me to the, car salesman. He's like, "This is my, attorney." He had said, he's like, and um, he's a consumer law lawyer, a consumer law attorney, and he's familiar with truth and lending. And he's telling me that he's told me there's multiple violations within truth and lending of you guys asking for a down payment. So he had me hop on, and I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what I broke down. I'm gonna tell you guys, and I'll have him hop on a phone, Zoom, YouTube live with me one day as well too, and share this exact testimony as well too, because he's one of my students as well too that's gone out and franchised out with our company, and he actually helps other clients with credit as well too. But to answer your question, yes, we do offer credit restoration services, but we're more so in the business of franchising companies out now. I got, five other credit repair companies and restoration companies that I've launched, with my company myself. And so, you know, with what I'm stating now, so if they are still seeking, and what I had told them is, I told them simply, okay, I don't want you to listen to anything I'm going to tell you. I'm talking to the car salesman. I simply want you, if you guys abide by, federal law, if you guys abide by truth in lending, I first and foremost want you to pull up 1611, Title 15 USC 1611. So for you guys knowingly and willfully giving false and or inaccurate information, or if you fail to provide information which is required to disclose under this provision of the subchapter, right? You guys can be fined not more than $5,000. So I can fine you guys 5,000, right now for not abiding by what is, required. And I'm not going. And one thing I want you guys to get clear: we're not going to argue. We're not going to be a hothead. A lot of you guys that I see going out and exercising this consumer law, and I understand where the frustration is coming from. Trust me, I above all else do. I'm with you guys. I'm on your side. I'm on your team. But family, this isn't how we get things done. Is being ignorant and being like, they're already gonna look at you crazy. Now, if you go in there and start acting crazy, they're really gonna think you're crazy. So go in there, calm, cool, collected, and innocent, and know, have posture and have conviction. That's it. Straight up, have posture and have conviction in what it is in which you're stating. Don't be, "Oh, I think I seen, I heard." This is the law. This is what I know. This is what it says, and this is that. Not, "I seen this on that. I seen this on X and X's channel, and this guy told me this. I seen this." No, fuck what I said. Fuck what anybody on YouTube, excuse my mouth, has ever said. This is all that what the laws teach you guys, and what I'm here to provide for you guys as a whole. I'm not here, nor do I ever, and never once have I ever been here to tell you guys anything other than what the law is telling you guys, and to break it down in terms and where a kid could come in here and understand this information. I have a 5-year old, a 4-year old, about to be 5-year old baby brother, and I want him to understand this information. And that's why we're about to be launching these 3 children's books. We already got 2 of them finished, completed. So we will be launching the rest here real soon. So I take him here first to 1611. And this is what I'm mentioning first to the dealership. I'm mentioning this. And so if you guys aren't willing to comply, and if for you guys, willfully and knowingly after me going through and especially breaking these laws and codes down to you, you're more than aware of, these laws in which you're violating. I'm gonna go ahead and have no other option but to hold you, criminally liable or fine you guys for $5,000. Right? So this is what we want to do to make sure we put no down payment. Now, in pursuant to Title 15 USC 1605, the moment that my credit card or my social security number is ran, a finance charge has arose. Is that or is that not correct? They will tell you, yes, it is correct. Yes, the moment your credit card, your social security number was ran, there was a finance charge. And I want you guys to tell you, I want to make it very clear on what this finance charge is and what it shall be determined as. Not what from me, not from these dealers. So ask them what a finance charge is and see what they'll tell you guys. And state, yo, excuse me, sir, I'm not sure if you're really familiar with what a finance charge is, but I wasn't neither. But this is what Congress is telling me. This is what Congress states and defines a finance charge as the sum of, okay. It shall be determined as the sum of all charges payable directly or indirectly by the person to whom the credit is extended, and imposed directly or indirectly by the creditor as an incident to the extension of credit. The finance charge does not include charges of a type payable in a comparable cash transaction. So there shouldn't be any cash transactions if there's a finance charge involved at all, period and point blank. So first and foremost, the finance charge is meant to be the sum of all charges, meaning it's supposed to be the total amount of all payments. There shouldn't be anything more and there shouldn't be anything less. There shouldn't be anything outside of it at all, period, point blank. And it's payable directly or indirectly. I remember the term creditor, directly or indirectly. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to with that, what video was that? That was one we recently did on. I'll do a video on how you are the creditor, but I think I just did one not too long ago, or I talked about it at least. But I'll do a title. I'll title it specifically that. These are also things that should be included within the finance charge. Interest. I've broken all of this down already. Service or carrying charge. I highly advise. I highly advise for me. Before you guys even think about, before you even take a thought of going to acquire a vehicle, of getting a down payment, or doing rescission, or getting any of these processes done with your vehicle, go and watch my Truth in Lending overview on the public channel. I left it there for a limited time, probably till the end of 2023. And I want you guys to understand everything in which I'm stating within that Truth in Lending overview. Let me show y'all the views, man. We out here at the Hilton in LAX. Last day here. It's been a movie though. Let me get the chandeliers up in here. All right, let's switch views real quick. What y'all think, man? This look a little better. This look a little more like Credit Gotti right here. All right, for me. So within the finance charge, nowhere in there does it talk about cash transactions, and the finance charge in connection with any consumer credit transaction. And I want you guys to understand that as well too. It's any consumer credit transaction. It's not just mortgages, it's not just auto loans, it's not just credit cards. It's any consumer credit transaction. And a lot of these gurus can't even break down what a consumer credit transaction is. A consumer credit transaction is the moment that your credit card, which in pursuant to 15 USC 1602 is defined as any card, plate, or coupon book used to obtain money, property, or services, is your credit card. And that is, what are services in which we use to obtain, that what is a credit card we use to obtain services such as lights and water and electricity? Our social security number. Our social security number, our social security card is a credit card. In fact, in the moment that that is ran, we have been entered into a consumer credit transaction. And I tell you guys to tell you this because it states any consumer credit transaction shall be determined as the sum of all charges. So if it's a sum, it's a total amount. I want you guys to go look up the sum. Go look up what it means in Black's Law Dictionary. Now I want to take you guys and keep you guys within 15 USC, titled Truth in Lending. But we're going to come here to 1666. I'm at 1666. 1662, excuse me. I gave you guys some free game on 1666 for something else, though. You guys will see that. That's more my late payments, anything in terms of them sending you any statement. You guys can find lots of things on your statements and through the contracts with 1666 for late payments. But that's time for another call. For the auto loan, I stated no so this is advertisement of down payments and installments. So a lot of times, well, so they'll advertise, oh, in order to get this vehicle, you got to put down X amount, or we got to run your credit before we see how much you're able to put down. If they do down payments, so they're not able to do it unless the creditor usually and customarily arranges down payments in that amount. So it must be in that exact same amount per each client as well too. So if I come in, if my guy Billy comes in, if my guy Joe comes in, and if my guy Bob comes in, right, all four of us come in, they must, advertise to us the exact same amount, to all four of us. Because it states here, no advertisement to aid, promote, or assist directly or indirectly any extension of consumer credit that may state that a specified down payment is required in the connection of consumer credit unless, so number 2, it states once again, a specified down payment is required in the connection with any extension of consumer credit. So if there's any extension of consumer credit, your credit card being ran, there shouldn't be no down payment. A down payment is not required unless the creditor usually and customarily arranges down payments in that amount. So they must do this on a regular, and it must all be in the exact same amount. How many of you guys, family, have seen or heard of these, dealerships doing it in the exact same amount? Yes, one thing I've seen some people in here got trade lines. Something in which you guys all can do as well too, is you guys can reassign, debt as a whole. You guys can have auto loans that are 10, 15, 20 years old, reassign onto your guys' consumer report. You guys can have mortgages of hundreds of thousands of dollars, have those reassigned onto your guys' credit report, your consumer report as well too. My business partner Taquan X, he does cover that. So if that is something you guys are seeking, in the Telegram, in the Discord, just let it be known, and I can connect you guys with my business partner Taquan X. Okay, family. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. I'm loving this live. So we got 15 USC 1605. We got 15 USC 1662B. Right, these are two basic ones in which a lot of people do go through and break down. I want to come here and I want to show you guys, and we got 1611 as well too. So I'm, 1605, is going to be more so used on the back end if we have put down a down payment, and if we have, that's what we'll exercise, and right away what we'll go through and what we'll do. So a lot of people don't know what to do right away. Always, what I'm going to tell you guys, the first step that I'm always taking personally, and I hear now that I talk about it more, and that it's just the first step I take for any legal process. This is the step in which I'm taking. I'm always ceasing and desisting right away, right off the bat. So first and foremost, I'm cease and desisting, which is 15 USC 1692C. Yo, Credit Gotti, I don't know what steps to take, bro. I don't know what to do. I feel stuck. I know all this information, I know all these laws, I know all these codes, but I don't know where to start. So who wants to know where to start? Drop a one in the chat. And I got to see all 10 ones if y'all are ready to know where to start exactly. We got 10 on the live. Let me see 10 ones if you guys are ready to know where to start, how I start off all of my letters, or not even letters, all my processes. So we're just getting started in the process. What is it you would do, Credigati? Okay, there we go. There go the ones. There go the ones. Jazzed up. She's ready. Jewel, she's ready. My guy David is ready as well. So the first step that I'm doing is cease and desist. So this is communication in the connection with debt collection. So remember, I talked about this yesterday. It's on the live when I was at the football game. I was mentioning the things in which I'm stating whenever I say anything. There, there's a lot of meaning behind it. So I really want you guys to look into things in which I do say when I do say them, just as a whole family. So let me go ahead and so this is the first step. So famous, athletes, famous artists, their attorneys, if anything ever does take place, they're always right away cease and desist in any illegal activity. So stopping all illegal activity is what it means to cease and desist. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come here to ceasing information, and this is 15 USC 1692 CC. So if you guys ever hear me say CC, 1692 CC, or just CC, that's what I'm referring to, cease and desist, right? If a consumer notifies a debt collector in writing that the consumer refuses to pay a debt, or that the consumer wishes the debt collector to cease further communication. Now let's take a stop real quick and let's look at the term communication. The term communication, we probably think it's just mean you communicating verbally. No, it means the conveying of information regarding a debt directly or indirectly to any person through any medium. A medium is social media. A medium is through email. A medium is a phone call. A medium is through writing. A medium is also your consumer report. That's a medium of communication that these corporations use to communicate with us, because remember, these corporations are dead entities. They can't actually speak with us. They cannot properly communicate with us. That's why there's a whole subchapter within 1692B, of them, communicating with you, communication and connection with debt collectors, and then acquisition of location information. If they do communicate with you, these are things in which they're supposed to, you know, provide to you guys. Location information. They're supposed to identify themselves. They're not supposed to state that a consumer owes any debt. This is 1692B. They're not supposed to communicate more than once unless requested to do so. They're not supposed to communicate by postcard. They're not supposed to use any symbols. Or these are things in which, as a debt collector, they don't have the ability and the power to do so, because as a debt collector, they don't have any power as a whole family. And so the first step I'm always doing is 1692 CC. I'm, putting them on notifier. I'm notifying them in writing that I'm refusing to pay a debt, or that the consumer wishes the debt collector to cease further communication with the consumer. So remember, if I'm looking to cease further communication, communication is that also what's on my consumer report. So you guys have the ability to also seize what's on your consumer report as well too. All right, it's getting a little loud over here and shit. So I'm gonna send out that letter directly to the creditor. I'm gonna send it to the dealership. I'm gonna send whomever is involved with the legal activity and whomever is attempting to collect any debt, whomever you guys are typically making your payments to on a month-to-month basis. This is who I'm ceasing right away. I'm also ceasing specifically these debt collectors. They didn't even have nothing to do with the original agreement or contract in the first place. They were nowhere in sight or nowhere, part of the agreement. Furthermore, if you guys do have the agreement and you guys have gone through and put down a down payment, if you guys go through the administrative process, if you guys, have them validate this debt, you guys cease and desist it, you guys go through, send an affidavit of facts. After you guys have done all this, you guys have gathered, and gone through different processes, and if they still have not deleted it, now this is where we get the agreement. I want you guys to write down and mark up all the violations within each subchapter of each violation in which you guys have found, and I promise you guys will find at least 5 to 10 findings. And remember, per violation, depending upon the subchapter, can be 1,000. If it's in truth and lending, it can be double the finance charge. So per violation in truth and lending, that is double the finance charge. So understand the amount of remedy that is within truth and lending is more than any other subchapter. So 1605, 1611, 1635, 1602, anything within 1602 is a double the finance charge. That's a violation within truth and lending. 1601, the misuse of a consumer's credit, that is also double the finance charge. So there's double the finance charge for per every violation within truth and lending, family. And this is the main subchapter that we are using when it comes to auto loans and acquiring, any vehicle with no down payment or getting our down payment back, is by you guys being able to go through, interpret, and break down and find the violations within truth and lending. Affidavit of facts will help you guys tremendously. Affidavits as a whole, getting things notarized as a whole, sending out all of your documents certified mail as well too. These are steps and things that we got to take to properly get the results in which we are seeking, family. So I do got multiple letters that I do got drafted up for you guys for auto loans and getting back your down payments. I wanted to come here though, specifically give you guys an insight and give you guys steps that you guys can take so you guys can put together a letter for self. Use ChatGPT to help you guys draft up some letters, but remember to make it personal, to make it about you guys, to make it about how they've violated you guys through your guys' situation specifically. So as always, family, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys all at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. Remember these set codes in which we've gone over, and I promise you guys, if you guys exercise them, if you guys understand them, if you take the time to get to know them and how to, properly use them, you guys will see, all the things in which you guys are seeking, and get back your down payment, get back what is ours and what's been ours from the beginning. That's what it's about. And us being able to go through and understand consumer law and specifically truth and lending will help us go through these contracts and get back what's ours. That's how the land was taken from my people, from the indigenous people of these lands, is through contracts. They signed these contracts, didn't know what they were signing. Through that, they literally gave up their land. They had no option but to give up their land. And so, family, let's not get, caught up through these contracts, through these agreements, and giving away our property and giving possession of our property to these corporations and to these banks, in which these banks are the ones whom truly own, these assets in which you guys are making payments on month to month. Let's set up trust. Let's set up irrevocable trust. So no public, entity can come in and mess with our private possessions because it's in the private. We got private contract and it's all binded within the private. And so I appreciate you all, family, and I'll see you all once again from me at the top. Those that are seeking trust, those that are seeking how to operate within the private, reach out to me individually, and I will be able to help you guys get these things set up. These are things in which we do cover within my personal mentorship, but that we do not and will not provide here on the YouTube channel for the sake of my safety, for the sake of your guys' safety and privacy. But we will be out here, for anybody that is looking to get, involved with anything. And we will be dropping and revamping and relaunching all of our websites here really soon. So make sure you guys stay tuned to all that we do have coming. Are you talking about the right of rescission? We've done a call over the right of rescission. I'm not specifically mentioning right now the right of rescission, but the right of rescission is a great law within truth and lending, and that's 15 USC 1635. And I've done a call on that as well too, on how to properly rescind. You know, yeah, we've done a lot of calls on that. I'll break this down as well too. And one thing real quick, I want you guys to look at it here as well too. Is that it states in the case of any consumer credit transaction. So once again, any consumer credit transaction, this is 1635, and it states the disclosure of the obligor's right to rescind. So we have the ability to act on the behalf of the obligor and the natural person, and the natural person is always the creditor. So we can be the creditor or the obligor, the creditor or the obligor. You decide. All of the powers in your hands, family. And anytime you have the ability to choose, that's showing you how powerful you are. That's freedom within itself. Every day we have the ability to choose and make decisions that will alter and shape our future reality. And the reality in which we've seen today has been created from our past thoughts, and which have led us to this exact, space and in time right now in which we're at here on this live. So, let's make sure we're taking action. You guys are here for a reason, divinely. I don't know any of you guys. You guys don't know any of me. You guys are here for a reason. I didn't know the information I would be sharing would blow up the way it has, the past 30 days, this quick. I knew it would, not this quick though. But I did know when she blew, she was gonna blow. I believe this is going to be one of the most, beneficial and helpful videos for all of you guys. If you guys would agree so as well too, come in here and I ask that you guys just like this video. Come in here and I ask that you just share this video with, 5 people that you feel can benefit from this information. I just ask that you come in here and that you guys are a student, that you guys are, open to receiving. Right, that's the first step. You got to be open. You guys can come on this on these calls and just be blocked and being a know-it-all state and not receive any of the information being provided to you guys. So I appreciate y'all, family. Y'all have a beautiful rising. It's Monday. Let's get to it. It's a new week, new opportunities, new goals. I hope for every single one of you guys this week to attack. So let's get to it, family. Today is a day in which you've never seen before, and a day that you'll never see again, family. So, tell a loved one you love them. Tell somebody you're grateful for them. Put a smile on your face. Share a smile with a stranger. Tell a stranger a compliment. Give a stranger a compliment. Let them know that they're valued and that they're loved. That you see them, because I see every single one of you guys. I appreciate you all. Peace and love. Credit Gotti, he's out.